what better way to kick off the new year by continuing my quest to try all the crafts? I have a collection here, 2 of which you would have seen if you watched my thrift haul video a while ago, which was this one and this one. But I also have a 3rd one here, which was a gag Christmas gift that I thought I'd chuck in for the lols, to be honest, for the lols. I considered doing a dedicated video for all of these, but I don't think there's quite enough substance to all of these kits to justify a video runtime of 20 to 30 minutes. So we're doing a compilation and I'm going to give all of these a go here today. Which will be my favorite of these crafts? Which will be the worst? Will I continue on with any of them after today? So many questions, but I think the most important one we need to answer is, which craft am I going to try first? Background looks a bit bare, doesn't it? I will see if I can fix it. No, that didn't really help. So what I'm doing today is attempting one of my thrift crafts, although technically this one was like a gag Christmas gift, but we'll include it with the others. The question is, which one? Oh, looking at these, I think this one might be a bit messy for an indoor project, so we'll leave that for another day. I'm not really feeling the latch hook at the moment, so I reckon we're gonna give punch needling a go. Let's bring you guys in on the action. So here is my punch needling kit. Makes a pretty cool little galah, but I don't understand why the galah has white stripes on it. But anyway, we will not question the kit. We shall just follow its instructions. What have I got in here? So we have the kit's already started. I had the same issue with the cross stitch kit, but I think it still leaves me plenty to have a go at. But what I want to know was how to start off. So if we turn our attention to the manual, how to punch needle. Punch needle stitching is a type of stitchery that uses a special tool, a punch needle, well, makes sense, that feeds the loose end of the yarn into the fabric to create a stitch every time you punch the needle through the fabric. Each stitch is connected. Hold the needle colour into the Oh, these are frail little things. I can see myself losing those very easily. So let's keep you safe in the plastic there. So I think I'd put that through there. Hang on. Put that through there. And then put the yarn through the closed end. Okay. Nope. Like so. And then use this to pull the yarn through. And then I think the yarn is then pushed through here. Like that. So hold the needle to the fabric surface. So I want to keep the picture in mind so I can see what colours need to go where. Probably going to get in the way of my arm there though, so I'm going to pop you over this side. So I don't know if I've got to do anything like tie a knot, make a slip knot, anything like that, because it doesn't really say. Instructions really aren't all that detailed. If I need to, I can always look up a YouTube tutorial or something. Alright, so we'll start here. Punch the needle down through the fabric until it stops. So I'm going to start in the pink section, which is here. So we're going to punch down. This doesn't feel... Am I just going to wreck this? Am I going to break it? Alright. Punch down until it stops. Carefully flip the frame over and pull out the short end of the yarn from the needle so it will be on the back. I'm guessing that's referring to this section here. So carefully flip that over, pull out the short section. My short section might be a little bit long. So it will be on the back. Okay, number 5, lift the needle until just the tip of the needle reappears. So pull it up, so just tip reappears. Slide the needle a short distance along the surface of the fabric, keeping the tip close to the surface, then punch again with the open part of the needle facing the direction you are traveling. It says a short distance, like what's a short distance? How long is a piece of string? See, I don't like it when instructions aren't specific like that. I'd prefer it to say, slide the needle, you know, half a centimetre or a centimetre or something. All right, but I'm just going to go what I think is a short distance. Then punch again with the open part of the needle facing the direction you're traveling. All right, so we're just going to punch again. And then I guess lift up. Move, punch again. Lift up, move, punch again. This is slightly more violent than I thought it would be. I didn't think I'd have to put so much strength into the punching. That's not a sentence I ever thought I'd say in a craft video. You need to punch harder. So number 7 is, when you complete a section, slowly pull the needle out of the fabric, leaving about ½ an inch, 1.25 centimeters. See, they put a specific measurement there. Why couldn't they have done that before? Of yarn to prevent unraveling and trim. I mean, that's great, but like, do I stop when I get to the end of the section here? Or do I just work back in the opposite direction? Let's read the tips section. It might say something there. I'm not sure, but what I did learn is that I have to make sure there's no like tension on this, on my working yarn. So I want to free that from the mosh pit here. I don't know if I have to like finish off when I get to the end of the row. So I'm just going to try like rotating my punch needle and working back in the opposite direction. Oh dear, now what? I've punched myself into a corner and I'm not touching the fabric like I'm supposed to. You know what? We're gonna scooch around and we're gonna go back. Yeah, I'm working over some of the previous work, but never mind. Get in there. Alright, this is going to be one of those things where I need to give my hands constant breaks. So I'm going to leave it there for a few minutes. I'm going to do some more stretching and then we'll come back and finish this. I don't actually think, to be honest, that this is going to take all that long. Once I get my technique down, I think this is going to work up fairly quickly. It's not all that difficult. The hardest part is remembering, well, at this stage at least, the hardest part is remembering to keep the tip of my punch needle on the fabric so I'm not pulling the yarn up too far. And then on top of that, trying to make sure that my punches are spaced evenly apart. I think once I get that down, it'll be okay. But yeah, stretches first, then some more punch needling. So I think I might have to stop here and do each of these pink sections between the white lines individually. So now I've got to learn how to finish off. When you complete a section, slowly pull the needle out of the fabric, leaving about 1.25 centimeters of yarn to prevent unraveling and trim. Oh, I didn't do that section very well. Let's redo those last couple of stitches. I don't know, are they stitches or are they punches? Right, so slowly pulling out of the fabric, so you can see that too. And 1.25 centimeters, which is not very long, and then trim. Okay, and trim. But why then is my end at the front? Surely I want that at the back. Do I push that through to the back? These instructions are a bit shit. They're a bit shit. You know what, I'm just going to push that through to the back because all the other, like the yarn tails are at the back here and there's not a single one poking through to the front. So I'm just going to push you through to the back and hope for the best. Like I'm thinking maybe I should have pushed the needle all the way through and cut the yarn at the back, but that's not what it says to do. It says slowly pull the needle out of the fabric. Despite that, it hasn't unraveled yet, so I'm counting it as a win. But now I'm just going to do these in-between sections, which will give me at least a bit of an opportunity to practice my finishing off method, really perfect it. This bloody punching is hard work, so I deserve a tea break. Well, with the tail done, we are down to our final section, the background. So I'm going to start in the very corner, and I think I'm just going to work in circles until I hit the picture, and then I figure out what I'm going to do from there, because I don't know what sort of the best route to take is. Do I do it section by section, like here, then here? Do I go in and fill in the smaller sections here later? I don't know. I'll work it out as I go. I don't know what's going on, but the last few minutes it's like my tension's gotten really loose, and instead of doing the sort of the tighter little punchy things up here, I'm getting loops. Let's see if that'll focus up. They're really like loose loops, and I'm not doing anything different, so I don't know why that's happening. It started happening over here before, which is why I haven't finished that little section. I thought I'd just leave it and come back to it later, but it's just started happening now, and I don't understand why. I'm not doing anything different than what I've done previously, but it's creating these really large loops, and I'm not lifting my punch needle up. I'm still, yeah, I don't understand. It's just like the tension is really loose. I'm confused. So, look, my hands are a bit sore, so I'm just going to give this a rest for now anyway. I'm just going to finish off. Let's pull that up. I'll leave that there for now, and I might frog this, if frog is the right word in this context, and finish it off later. But yeah, that was a bit strange. I don't know why it just started happening all of a sudden, because you can see I was coming down this section here, it was fine, and then I just kept going, and then the tension loosened. Well, I'm saying the tension loosened, I don't know if that's actually the case, but something happened to cause these large loops to start forming. I don't know. But any other thoughts I have on this, I'm going to save until the end, and then probably tomorrow we're going to come back and do craft number 2. And we're back again. So yesterday we finished, well, mostly finished, our punch needle bird that's not a galah. We did that. And today we're going to start on craft. You going to stay there? Good enough. And today we're going to start on craft number 2. Originally I was going to begin the latch hooking, but I think I want to do something a bit kinder on my hands today. Therefore, we're going with the paint pouring, and I'm going to do something stupid and take a risk and do this inside. So I have grabbed out my protective sheeting. I've got some plastic, I've got some sheets, so I'm going to get all that set up. And then we're going to give this a go. My assumption, keeping in mind that my only exposure to paint pouring is literally this kit, my assumption is that it's not going to be all that difficult. Messy, maybe, but difficult, I hope not. I don't think so, but we'll see. such a lovely colour, this sheet. I'm sure it'll make a very aesthetically pleasing background. Let's see what the paint pouring kit has in store for us. Sticky tape apparently. Snip you, and then you. Okay, well, we've got the paint, which I assume is very important in a paint pouring kit. And then we've got instructions. Hopefully they're a little bit better than the needle punch instructions yesterday were. And then we've got our little vase here, or vase, if you're of that persuasion. What I would like to know is, do I paint the undercolor first and then pour on the second bits, or do you just pour on the whole thing? Let's read and we'll find out. Instructions. Preparing your vase. 1. Prepare the area by laying down a protective sheet. Already done step 1. Good job, Lee. Number 2, place your cardboard vase stand in the middle of your protective sheet. So I'm guessing that is this. So we're putting that in the middle of the sheet there. Number 3, place your vase upside down onto the cardboard vase stand. The stand will sit inside the mouth of the vase. Bunch you up a little bit and pop you on the top there. That doesn't seem right. This is incredibly unstable. Surely that's not right. Place your vase upside down onto the cardboard vase stand. The stand will sit inside the mouth of the vase. Yeah, well, I don't think it is. Maybe if I squash it a bit more. I mean, that's better, except it doesn't look anything like the picture. It's alright, we can work with it though. We can work with it. There are apparently two different techniques as described in these instructions. One is to mix all your colours together and then pour them on, and the second is to layer them, so doing one colour individually. I think I'm going to go with that second option. I have 3 colours to choose from, and I'm going to go this light apricot colour. Then I'll do the pink second, and finally I'll end with the tealy colour. This is probably my last chance to pick up and go outside, but I'm hoping I'll be okay. Famous last words. According to the instructions, you don't really need much of the first colour apparently. So it says pick your first colour, this will be the bottom layer. Note you may not use a lot of this. So we'll start off with a little bit, and we can always add more if we need it. So I'm going to start off by taking the seal off my paint. And then we're going to fill this up. I will do that for now. And then I'll start with the back, so hopefully you all get a view of this. You don't miss any of the exciting action. And I'm just going to pour it. Oh, this is thrilling stuff, this is. Oh, look at it go. Whee! You know what? This actually makes my inner child very happy. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. The same thing on the reverse side, the back side. You know what? I may as well use up all this paint because I'm not going to be keeping it for anything else. And now I know I need to wash this out before I put the second colour in, but I don't know if I need to leave any like drying time in between these. So no, I don't have to wait for the paint to dry between applications. I just need to rinse and dry the cup. So I'll go do that, and then we can do the second colour. Cup is clean and dry. Well, it's mostly dry. Color number 2. Here we go. Just gonna squeegee the whole lot in. Oh, that's a lovely sound. I don't know if the mic picked that up. Round 2. So I don't know if I want to use all of this color, because what if it just entirely covers up my already forming masterpiece here? Like, I don't want to get rid of it. I was hoping this paint might follow different paths. It's sort of following the same drip route. I can sense we're building up to something brilliant here. So I'm gonna go rinse and dry this, and then we're going to come back and do our third and final color. Ugh. Get off! Finally, the seal has been broken. Let's put you in there. Ooh. And then we begin the pour again. I want to be a little bit careful here, because I don't want to ruin my vase on the home stretch. So that is a nice color. I do like that. It does seem kind of wasteful though. There is so much paint pooling down the bottom there. Oh, that's kind of cool. You guys can't see it, but the teal has pushed some of the previous darker pink like over the lip here, and that's streaking through. I like how that looks. Maybe I can encourage that to happen a little bit more. If I just nudge the paints. Ooh, I don't think I'm going to get any of the light pink. That looks kind of cool. Maybe I should have gone with the mixed paint pouring technique. You know what? I'm going to try that on this side too. See if it'll work. And then you guys will understand what I'm yammering on about over here. I think that is looking okay. Maybe, I don't know, but either way, I'm gonna let this set now. It says in the instructions it needs about 24 hours to dry. I'll give it that, and then possibly a little bit more, because like this paint down the bottom, that is, well, I've thinned it out now, but it's really quite a thick layer. So I want to make sure it gets the time that it actually needs to dry. So no more touching that. We're gonna wrap it up here for today, and then in the next couple of days we will then attempt the latch hook. Thought I'd give you a close-up of this beauty before we wrapped up here. Look at that. Magnificent. So it's been a couple of days and the vase of horror has finished drying, but I'll show you guys that at the end. For now, I want to get started on the final kit, which is my latch hook kit. And unlike the other two, I'm not looking forward to this quite as much. I'm not really enthused by the color palette or the pattern itself. And that's not even getting into whether or not I'm going to like the craft itself. But I am determined to give it a shot anyway. So let's open you up and see what goodies we have inside. What do we got? What do we got here? Some of this stuff. Ooh. I'm guessing that is the rug, because according to the front of the box, you can make your own decorative rug and cushion. Aren't I spoiled? I get a rug and a cushion. Yay. And then, okay, that's the yarn. Yeah, there's a lot in there. I might not take all that out. Oh no, the bottom has come undone. Ah, bloody hell. Oh, this is not going well. Now it's all over the floor. I'm just going to yoink the instructions and probably this, because I'll need that. How is it that I have moved this box like around the room for months? Months I've had this, and now when I just put it down on the table, that's when it decides to explode everywhere. I mean, I'm grateful it didn't explode all over the floor, but why? I reckon I'm going to go with the cushion first, because that is a smaller piece, and yeah, I think that's a good place to start. If I hate it, that means I will have wasted less time. So, instructions, let's have a look. Your kit includes... Alright, so it does recommend that you attach the backing first, but I'm not going to do that. A, because I'm just a little bit worried about it getting in the way when I'm trying to do the latch hooking, but also because I'm probably not going to be using this as a cushion. Yes, I want to try latch hooking, but as I've already mentioned, neither the colours nor the pattern appeal to me, so I'm not going to be displaying this anywhere. I just want to practice my latch hooking with this piece. So the backing, probably not necessary, and honestly, I could keep that for another project. Now, I've only ever used a latch hook, I think once before I tried it, and it wasn't all that successful. I used it on an amigurumi because I was trying to add fur, but in the end, for me, using my crochet hook was easier than the latch hook. I don't know if I had the right size one, or I don't know what the issue was. Maybe it was the user who was the problem, but yeah, it wasn't too successful back then. I'm hoping this will go a little bit better. Guess we'll find out in a moment. Checking the chart, this is how my piece should be laid out. And according to the top tip section, I should be starting here in the middle of the top row. And you know what is a nice thing about this kit, actually, is that they pre-cut the yarn for you, like all these little yarn sticks, because it would have been a lot more tedious if they just given you like a full skein of yarn and expected you to cut it yourself. I'm glad the kit came with individually pre-cut pieces. So do I want to go around this last row here? So if I go into, say, this one, like that. I guess not, because that's broken. We'll go into this one. So up through the square above. Then wrap the ends of the yarn through the eye of the hook. Through the eye of the hook, like that. Step 4, slowly pull the hook out through the first square you entered into. As you do this, the latch will close. So I think I might have done something wrong there. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm putting it over, and then the latch is like that. Then you go into the square, and then out of the square above, put that through there, and then I should just be pulling through. The mesh that makes up these squares is splitting, and my latch hook is getting caught in that. Yeah, this is not working. I think I know what I have to do. I just can't get it back through the squares. I can't pull it through without the latch hook catching on things. Now that's got to go on first. You know what, I have this one. This was my latch hook I used, and it looks smaller than the one, if you can see that, smaller than the one provided. I wonder if that'd make a difference. I'm going to try that. I got it. That was much easier. So did they provide the wrong size latch hook for the kit? Because I got that first go. This one was just catching on the squares. I'll try it, because it's the latch hook that came with the kit, I'm going to try it one more time, or a couple more times, just to give it a fair go. I did get it in the end there, but I think this hook is just too big. It keeps catching on the mesh of the squares, where I didn't have the issue, or that issue, with this smaller one. So I'll do it again with the smaller one, just to test that it wasn't a fluke. That was so much easier. Even though it wasn't the latch hook that came with the kit, I'm just going to continue to use this one. Before I carry on though, what I do want to do as well is test how I would normally do this, because using this method is how I would create fur on amigurumi, as I've mentioned. And for that, I just use my crochet hook. So I would just like insert my crochet hook, grab that, pull it through, and then I'd pass the open end through the closed end. And to me, that's just as easy, if not easier, than using the latch hook. But this is not a crochet kit. This is a latch hook kit, so I'm going to put that away. But I just wanted to demonstrate that that's how I would normally do it, and I personally think that's just as easy. So bring that back in. I'm going to continue with this. I'll get as much of it done as I can. I think I was on point before when I said I wasn't going to enjoy this as much. There's just, I don't know, it's the kind of tedious that I don't particularly enjoy. There's so much about this that is just completely draining my motivation to even, not even finish it, but just attempt it. Like I've mentioned, I don't like the design. This latch hooking, I don't think it's going to be for me. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's going to be for me. But this video is about attempting new crafts, and I've got to give it a fair shot. You got to give it a crack. I don't want to judge too soon, even though I think my judgment might be on point. What in the hell have I done here? I don't understand. There we go. Spent as much time untangling that as I have latch hooking. Can I do paint pouring again? I mean, at the very least, that was fun. My inner child was very happy doing that. This, on the other hand, is going to bring out my inner rage demon. I am done for today. I will give this another try either later this evening or tomorrow, but I gotta ask myself, how much time do I want to waste on this? I'm not liking it so far, but I do want to acknowledge that this is like the first time I'm doing this latch hooking stuff. Well, technically I've tried it a little bit before, but I don't know if that really counts for as minimal amount of time as that was. So I want to give it a chance, but it's hard to do that when you just don't like what's going on. I'm not enjoying this. I really can't foresee this being a craft I do long term. But still, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. And I think that's a good indicator of where this craft is headed, because I'm not actually looking forward to continuing. That's a bit of a dead giveaway, in my opinion. Hey, Boo. Boo Boo. You want to finish it for me? Guess that's a no. Oh. 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 Right, I spent like all of yesterday outside at a 10-year-old's birthday party. Is it possible to be hungover without having consumed a drop of alcohol, because that's how I feel. I think that's how you know you're getting old, when the sarsaparilla gives you a hangover. But anyway, despite my apparent non-alcoholic drunkenness, I did manage to do a little bit of the latch hooking last night. I'm going to try and do a little bit more today, but to be honest, I don't know how much I'm going to get done. Not only because I'm still not really enthused about this project, but also it's supposed to be like just over 40 degrees here today, so I don't have much scheduled other than, you know, lying flat on the tiles trying to keep cool. Well, I haven't improved at this in a day, so that's disappointing. Bloody hell. Oh, God. Oh, I'm sick of this already. Oh, for Christ. See, I think the issue I'm having is these two columns of squares on the outer edge here, they're a lot narrower than the rest of the mesh. So it's really hard to get my hook into that and then back out of it without the hook latching onto the mesh of the square itself. It is very frustrating. So I'm going to skip those two squares for now. Skipping, and let's see if I have an easier time with the larger squares. No, not really. I'm about to rage quit. Come on, let me just do one. No, I keep grabbing hold of the mesh of the squares, but I can cheat this one because I can pull it through the loop. That counts, right? I'm done again. I'm done. All right, latch hook, you get one more chance today. It's way too hot to be putting up with your nonsense. And we are done. I have completed is not the right word for all of them, but I have mostly completed all of my crafts. We'll do this in order. I'll start with craft number 1, and that was punch needling. This was actually quite fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot more violent than I thought it would be. I mean, with a name like punch needling, maybe I should have figured that out. But you had to really put a lot of pressure on the punch needle to get it through the Aida fabric. Perhaps it's not supposed to be like that. Maybe I just got a crappy kit. Any experienced punch kneaders will have to let me know. But, like, obviously I'm not very good at it because I've never done it before. My stitches may not be the right word, but whatever we're calling these, my punches aren't very consistent. And something happened towards the end of the project here where the yarn was it was like forming loops. It was like the tension was very loose, and I don't know what caused that because I wasn't doing anything differently at the end there than I had been like previously throughout the project. So I don't know what caused that, but aside from that little hiccup, I quite enjoyed it. I probably don't have to go to therapy anymore. I can just use punch needling instead. Will I continue with this long term? I'm not sure. Even though I found it enjoyable, I don't know that I found it that enjoyable, but it could be one of those crafts that I somehow attempt to combine with crochet. Though my worry would be that if I used a punch needle on, say, a piece of crochet that was like worked back and forth in rows or even rounds, that by punching that punch needle through it, it would cause the crochet stitches to unravel, like it would break them and then it would unravel. Outside of that specific situation, I don't really foresee myself doing this much, if at all. One thing that did strike me about this is it really doesn't seem very secure. There's not a knot or a tie-off or anything like that. You're literally just punching your needle through the fabric. Like, how secure is it actually? I mean, it might be fine. I don't know. The instructions for this and, well, for all of the kits really were fairly like limited. So if there is a specific like tie-off method you use in punch needling, that wasn't mentioned in the instructions. But yeah, apart from that, I would rate this, I don't know, a 6 7 out of 10. An enjoyable time, just not something I'm probably going to go back to at least anytime soon. So you can sit there. My little weird galah thing. I don't know what kind of bird that was supposed to be. It was a bit odd, but that's fine. That's not a major issue. Craft number 2. Oh, craft number 2. I want to say that I respect paint pouring as a medium. I don't think this crappy little kit was or is reflective of the craft as a whole. But this kit in specific, this was ridiculous. Like, it was so ridiculous. Look at that hideous thing. My God. And, like, I didn't help the situation by, you know, at the end there, like, flicking the I completely just had a brain fart then, but by flicking the magenta-y and the lighter pinky colours, like, over the cyany tealy colour. But if I hadn't done that, it would have been, like, so boring anyway, because the last colour I used just would have covered the majority of the previous ones. So, like, I think I both ruined it but improved upon it at the same time. It's just, I mean, look at it. I don't need to explain, do I? Setting aside how it looks, it was a bit of fun. Pouring that paint out, watching it dribble down the side of the vase. My inner kindergartner was very, very happy. My adult self was like, Lee, what are you doing? But my inner child was ecstatic. So it was fun in that regard. But yeah, this is not something I will do again. Like, maybe if I learned how to do paint pouring properly, I can see myself attempting it then. But this, and no. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this, but I think I'm going to give it to my mum, but I'm going to do it in, like, all seriousness. Like, here, Mum, I made this vase for you, and I want to see what her reaction is, because she's probably going to treat it like she did when I bought her home drawings from, like, primary school. Happy early birthday, Mum. So I don't even want to look at you, to be honest, but we'll put you back here anyway. Okay, and then we're on to the third craft. I can say with confidence that I hate latch hooking. I absolutely hate it. This is as far as I got. I grant you, this is not much at all. Usually when it comes to these kind of, like, scenarios where I'm trying something for the first time or I'm, like, undertaking a challenge, I want to give it my best. I want to put in the effort, so at the end I can say, you know what, I gave 100%, I really tried, and this was the outcome. In this situation, I did not do that because I just couldn't with latch hooking. It was so frustrating. My hook, well, to begin with, oh, they're even shitting me now. They're all tangled up over here. What are you even stuck on? Oh, see, latch hooking is no good. But to begin with, the latch hook that I was given with the kit, I think, and I say that knowing virtually nothing about latch hooking, but I think this is too large for the mesh. I could not get it through. You saw me try on camera. I tried a lot off camera to make this size work, and it just wouldn't. Every single time it would tangle in the mesh. It was a nightmare, to be honest. It was a nightmare. Because that didn't work, I swapped out to a smaller latch hook that I had that I've used occasionally in crochet projects. That did work better, but it was, this process is so slow and tedious and annoying. I don't like it. There is some crafts, even crochet sometimes, for example, where, like, slow and tedious and frustrating, like, you can push through it, you can work through that because, you know what your finished project is going to be and you work towards that goal. With this, like, this was the goal and I just don't care. I don't like this, and There were so many things about it that I just didn't like. And look, I have a limited amount of time and energy and spoons to do projects. And in the end, I didn't want to waste those limited resources on doing this. I just didn't. Maybe that's going to disappoint some people. Bad luck, at the risk of being a little bit rude or mean. Yep, bad luck. I'm not doing this anymore because it's just a waste of my time, and I genuinely disliked the experience. I would rather spend my time doing something I enjoy, or at the very least, if working on something that's a bit frustrating, but I still get like satisfaction like out of the effort that I'm putting into it. Nothing was going right with this. So no, I'm done. I'm done with latch hooking. I might use it occasionally for crochet projects like in amigurumi, but as I think I demonstrated in like part of the latch hooking video, using my crochet hook was so much easier with this mesh than using the proper latch hook. So I don't know why I would return to that if I can just use my crochet hook. Oh, yeah, this was not good. This is probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had, like at any point that was like craft related. I did not enjoy that. So I'm stopping there. But in some like positive news, I will be able to make use of the mesh. So I started with just the pillow, which was like the square. You also got enough yarn to make an entire rug. No thank you. Hard pass, absolutely not. But I do have an idea of how I can like recycle or upcycle this mesh. There's a couple of upcoming projects I have for which I think it'll be really useful. So this is certainly not going to go to waste. And that just excites me more. I think about how I can utilize it in those and I'm like, yes, let's do it. Full steam ahead. But this, no. No. And I'll even put this in my like fabric scrap bin, so I'll be able to reuse that too. As for the yarn, because I will say the one like good thing about this kit was like the little bits of yarn, and obviously I can't tell you whether or not there was enough yarn provided to complete both projects. Just, I'm not doing that. Sorry, you'll have to go somewhere else to find out that information. But I like that the yarn came pre-prepared. Maybe not so much that they're individually wrapped in plastic. That's not such a great thing. But it did come pre-prepared. I keep stumbling over that word. It did come pre-prepared. I appreciate that. I think that's a good thing in a kit. But that's literally the only positive thing I have to say about this. I can't think of anything else, unfortunately, which I don't like doing. I like to try and keep things upbeat around here, stick to the positives when I can, but I also want to balance that out with honesty. I'm not going to lie and say I enjoyed doing something when I genuinely didn't. So that is my first and only attempt at latch hooking. The yarn, I'm going to like put that in my scrap bin. I'll be able to use that in other ways too. I'll be able to reuse the mesh and the fabric as well. So nothing's going to waste. It's just not going to be used in the context of latch hooking. In summary, out of all of these, I definitely liked punch needling the best. That was a bit of fun. This hideous thing, I think if I did paint pouring the way it's supposed to be done, if I learned some proper techniques, that might change how I think about this. But at the moment, I'm just going to leave my paint pouring adventures here, I think. And I'll stick with other crafts for now. And latch hooking, I don't think I need to say any more on that. I think I've made my feelings abundantly clear. But just know, you nightmarish fiend, I want nothing more to do with you. But what I do want to have something to do with, I don't know if that sentence made any sense, but you know what? I'm going to go with it. We're just rolling with it. And today's featured creator on the hookup is Nina, and she says, I am a 28-year-old crocheter and gamer from Germany with multiple chronic illnesses. Normally I am studying social work as well, but due to the illnesses I can't continue right now. I started with crocheting a few years ago but was not able to learn it. A few years later I wanted to learn amigurumi so bad. I started right away with amigurumi and learned how to do it. Since then I am hooked. Nice pun. And can't stop. I am now starting to design my own patterns as well, but since family and friends have so many wishes for different amigurumi, I am not really able to finish the patterns. I can totally empathize with that too, as well as having your studies interrupted by illnesses and health issues. Yep, I 100% get that, and I'm sorry you're going through that. That really sucks. Now, all of Nina's links will be down in the description, and so will a link to the hookup form if you would like to apply for yourself. Thank you all for watching today. Let me know what you thought of all these crafts. Do you dabble in any of them? If so, tell me which ones, and can you make any recommendations? Maybe not for the latch hooking, not interested in that, but for these two, like, if you have any constructive criticism or like tutorials I can check out, I take all of those like into consideration. I am more than willing to give these two a shot again. Definitely not you though. Definitely not you. Okay, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Share it if you think it's worth sharing. And I will see you in the next one.